The quest for gold continues in the return of the Golden Kamuy anime series, and it all opens up with an episode which absolutely plays to the strength of the franchise. It's hilarious, it's disturbing, and it has a lot of dick jokes. Hello my friends, are you ready to be creeped out and laugh your ass off again? Because Golden Kamuy has officially returned, and I think it's really awesome that we got another season in the same year, or at least the second half of the first season. And this episode right here absolutely does not skip a beat. They immediately jump into the next part of the story, and they reintroduce us to a lot of the other characters, of seeing what they're doing and where they're going to be going in the story. But without a shadow of a doubt, this has got to be one of the most creepy-ass episodes that I've ever seen from the entire show. It was like this perfect combination of Psycho and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre just thrown into a margarita with a dash of anime. The reason I say that is because most of this plot is dedicated to Tsurumi meeting this character by the name of Edo Guy. Edo Guy is an accomplished taxidermist, and the reason that Tsurumi is going to him is because this guy's not just good at stuffing bears and birds, but he quite literally turns human bodies into living pieces of art. But the reason why Edo Guy is such a disturbing character is not only is he really good at stuffing creatures, but like I said, he does it to human bodies as well. He even makes his very own line of human-based clothing, which we get to see a lot of in this episode, some of which is going to be fueling your nightmares this evening, but also some of it is absolutely hilarious in the most darkest and disturbing way possible. What I especially love about this scene is that initially it seems as if Tsurumi is trying to capture this guy, but he's actually sort of playing him in what might be one of the most disturbing scenes from anything that I have ever seen. As we know, Tsurumi has no problem with wearing clothes that's made from human skin. We've seen it done multiple times in the series, and the reason that he's actually seeked out Edo Guy is because he wants him to make some fake clothing based on the ones from those skins from the prison. And this is so that they can sort of throw off all of their enemies and other people who are actually going to be going after these tattooed skins. And he actually ends up appealing to this guy by basically letting him know that, hey, he's into the whole wearing human body parts thing too. It almost comes across as somewhat sexual, and it manages to make the episode just incredibly uncomfortable, but it also leads to amazing scenes like watching this guy ride on a stuffed polar bear. That alone is worth the price of admission of this episode right here. It manages to be absolutely terrifying and hilarious all at the same time. Basically, Tsurumi is able to trick this freaky serial killer-esque character into working for him by basically saying, hey, I like wearing people too. And it's played off in a really funny and fucked up way, and it's the perfect way to actually begin this season, because one of the biggest strengths of Golden Kamuy has always been its ability to juggle its humor with incredibly horrifying imagery, all tied together by a story for searching gold. And that's a big freaking accomplishment. And you know what's crazy? That's just a small part of this episode right here. We even get to go back to Sugimoto's group. He's still hanging out with Shiraishi, Acerpa, and of course Kyoranke. And Kyoranke is a character I can't wait to talk about a little bit more, as they might have hinted at something really big about his character in this episode. We get to learn from Hijikata that apparently Nopperabo, the father of Acerpa, very well might not even be Japanese or Ainu in the first place. He might actually be a partisan soldier from Russia, and this is all part of some weird, crazy, convoluted plan to actually form independence and fight for his very own people. But I have to admit it has me intrigued, especially for the fact that he had some other friends from Russia, one which might actually already be in the series, and that's probably Kyoranke. They don't so subtly hint at it in this episode right here, but they also hint at the fact that there is a traitor amongst Sugimoto's group, and I don't see it being Acerpa, and I don't see it being Shiraishi, mostly because Shiraishi's just an absolute idiot. And if it really is Shiraishi at the end of the day, wow, that guy's an amazing fucking actor. The whole scene of learning a little bit about Nopperabo and the fact that he's actually Russian was also really intriguing, because this is the first time we've formally seen Ogata working with Hijikata, and he seems right at home working in this group, knowing that he's probably going to see a lot of action and have a lot of fun. It's still hard to read his characters. I feel there is an ulterior motive here, and it probably does have something to do with finding this gold, but that remains to be seen. I'm very interested to see what Ogata's endgame is going to be, and as far as I'm concerned, he's probably the most interesting character of the series, and that's saying a lot considering we now have a couple of characters who like turning people into winter coats. We even get to follow up on the character of Tanigaki, where he seems to have assimilated quite well with the Ainu and seems to be hunting with all other people, including Osoma's father. And they even take the time to introduce this other kid who's some sort of orphan from the village, doesn't have any parents, doesn't have any friends, and apparently his name means boner. He has another Ainu name, which is really hard to pronounce, Sika Pasai, but I'm gonna call him Boner from now on, if only just because that's fun to say. We also get to see the return of the fortune teller in Carmet, and it looks like she's going to be joining Tanigaki on his journey to find Sugimoto and their group. Again, just like Ogata, she's a character that's kind of hard to read. She's something of a sly fox, but it is made pretty clear by the end of the episode that she seems to be working with Tsurumi, or at least having contact with him, and that's all just a big tease right before the episode comes to a close. So, what's the rundown on this episode of Golden Kamuy? I'm so glad that this series is returning. It doesn't have the greatest production value in the world, but its story is just absolutely engrossing, and like I said, seems to pay homage to Psycho and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre quite a bit, especially with the fact that his house is filled with all of these taxidermied bodies, and he seems to implant his very own, like, voices and emotions within these characters. Basically, he has extreme schizophrenia, and it's portrayed in such a horrifying manner. Like I said, a lot of the episode is played for laughs, but it's done really well with a lot of the horrifying elements. I mean, just look at the mask that this character is wearing. That has got to be one of the scariest freaking things I've ever seen. I also love that the series is keeping its tradition of highlighting a lot of really interesting food. I know that's a weird thing, but almost every single episode features Sugimoto and his friends sharing a meal together, describing what the food is like, talking about how awesome it is, and like a lot of other food anime, it just gets you really hungry while you're watching it, as well as getting to learn a little bit about some foods and some recipes that you otherwise would probably never even know about. That, and of course, still learning a little bit more about the Ainu culture and its connection to Japan and Russia as well. The entire show is almost like a weird history lesson, but it's wrapped up in all of this weird, disturbing anime goodness. I can honestly say that Golden Kamuy is unlike any other anime series that I've ever seen, and it's completely saved by its incredibly engrossing story and wondering where it's all going to be headed. It's also worth noting that this was a refreshing episode in the sense that winter is finally over. We're in spring. We're finally seeing something other than snow, and we're actually seeing some green foliage, some grass, all types of that stuff. I know that's a weird thing to say, but it's just the first season was just so freaking filled with snow that honestly it was getting kind of boring. So to get a nice change of scenery immediately has me refreshed for this season right here. I can't wait to see what sort of new opening we're going to get in the next episode. They might have teased the song at the end of this one, but I don't know how they're going to top the opening from the last season, which, I kid you not, is one of my favorite anime openings of all time. A lot of it has to do with the fact that Man with a Mission is just such an amazing fucking band. I absolutely love those guys, and almost every single intro they do, whether the anime is good or bad, the intro is always incredible. So I can't wait to see what they're going to give us in this one right here. I'm very excited for more of Golden Kamuy. I haven't read the manga version quite yet because they were going to give us this next part of the season so quick, and I'm going to experience it a little bit more here. If I continue to like it and I just can't hold it in anymore, I'm probably going to read the manga. But what I will say is, I'm enjoying this show. As far as production value goes, it's just like the first season. This isn't a very high-tier anime in terms of the artwork or the animation at all. It's very limited. There isn't a lot of detail unless it's actually like the backgrounds of the places the characters are walking around in. But each of the characters are distinctive and instantly recognizable, and it's all held together by an amazing story filled with a lot of really dark imagery, but also lots of laughs. This was a great return to form and another fantastic episode of Golden Kamuy and a great way to start the season. Easily one of the more memorable first episodes of a season I've seen in quite some time. I'm giving this episode a 5 out of 5. I absolutely loved it, and you guys need to check it out. But if any of you guys did watch it, tell me what you thought about it in the comment section below and what you hope to see from the rest of this season of Golden Kamuy. What did you think about the introduction of Edo Guy in this episode? Did it creep you out? Did it make you laugh? What do you hope to see from the rest of this amazing gold hunting anime series? Let's get a discussion going. Thank you all for watching this review. Make sure to check out the channel for tons of other anime reviews. This is easily one of the most jam-packed anime seasons that I have ever had, so please check out the channel and the playlists and hit that little bell notification icon. That'll let you know when all my videos are being released. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay down there, baby.